Over the last 6 months, I haven't consumed any form of online entertainment by myself. So I haven't been watching movies or TV shows. I haven't been scrolling social media, watching YouTube videos, keeping up with politics or current affairs or sports teams. I haven't been doing any of this. And this has given me a level of focus and discipline, and to be honest, just general improvement in quality of my life that has been pretty crazy. But one of the biggest factors contributing to me being able to do this was setting up my technology properly. I honestly think that if I didn't have my technology set up the way I have it set up, this would be nearly an impossible task. So last week I showed you how to set up your phone properly to avoid distractions, and this week I'm going to show you how to set up your laptop properly to avoid all distractions. First things first, you need to understand and truly believe this statement, because if you understand and believe this statement, this will be a very, very easy setup for you, and this is going to be a walk in the park. That statement is that your technology is a tool and not a toy. Use this ruler, for example. Okay, this is just a normal standard ruler. I don't want to play with this ruler. I don't want any of the fun that this ruler could possibly provide. I only care that this ruler provides me with a straight edge and can measure things accurately. I don't care that it says it's a stainless steel ruler and it has a bunch of stains on it. I don't care that it's gray and not fluorescent multicolored. The only thing I care about is that this thing provides me the utility that it's supposed to provide. And if you think about your technology the same way as this, you'll be set. If you think about your phone and if you think about your laptop as if, how can I extract as much utility out of this as possible without using it to distract myself, without using it to pull my attention and waste my time, but rather, how can I use this to get all of the possible value that I can get out of this great piece of technology, then you're going to be absolutely set. So if you can think about your laptop in this way, this is going to be a very, very easy setup. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we set up our home screen properly. Most people just have too many files, too much garbage on their home screen. It's a lot of clutter. It creates a lot of anxiety, a lot that your brain has to try and process and deal with, which is just annoying. So this probably looks a lot better than most people, but I just cluttered this up for this example. But see all this junk. If you want to keep it, what I would do is I would just create a folder and just call the folder folders and just chuck everything in there. This is kind of like when your mum has guests around for dinner or whatever it is, and she says, go clean up your room because for some reason their guests are going to come and do a room tour. And so you go, okay, I'll clean up my room. And you just chuck everything into your closet and then close the closet, and then it's problem solved, right? It's obviously not actually solving the problem, but at the very least, it's keeping it out of sight. This is a lot less of a stressful home screen than what most people's home screens look like. But simply by chucking everything in the hypothetical closet of this little folders thing, it's just way less for your brain to have to process, way less for your brain to have to think about, and just an overall better place to be. So that is absolutely step one. This is just like if you were removing all the apps from your home screen on your phone. You're just going to remove all the folders from your desktop, either delete them or just chuck them in a folder called folders. Next thing we want to do is download Google Chrome. Google Chrome is by far the best search engine to use, particularly because we can add extensions, which are going to be very beneficial, that we're going to talk about later in this video. But very simply, just download Google Chrome from google.com/Chrome and download this. From here, we want to make Google Chrome the default browser on our computer. So the way we do that is go to System Settings, go to Desktop and Dock, and we want to go to Default Web Browser here and make sure we select Google Chrome and have Google Chrome as our default web browser. This just means every time you open up a link, every time you open up anything, it's just going to go straight to Google Chrome. Real quick, if you're looking to achieve peak mental and physical performance, then I have left no stone unturned to give you everything that you need to reach your full potential. So if that is something that you're interested in, I will leave a link in the description below. Now that we have Google Chrome set as our default browser, we want to optimize this thing so it is not distracting at all. The first place we need to start is the bookmarks section here. Bookmarks should serve the purpose of making it as easy as possible for you to access websites that you want to access. They should not help us access sites that we don't want to access. So for example, if you're trying to get rid of Instagram, you're trying to stop using it, then why would you have an Instagram bookmark? Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Amazon. Anything that you're trying to cut out or you're trying to stop using as often, do not have these things in your bookmarks. So absolutely get rid of those things first. As you can see here for my bookmarks, I only really have things like my daily planner. I have like Google Sheets, ChatGPT, Docs, school, email, right? Things that I actually want to use. So first things first, delete all the unnecessary crap in your bookmarks. And if you want it to show up just as the symbol rather than the whole text, you left click on it and select edit and then just rename it to nothing and it will just show as a symbol. That's a pretty cool thing to do. But the next important thing that we need to do is we need to select this pencil button down here and go to customize Chrome. So open this up. Now you can mess around with the theme if you want. I don't really care about that. The important thing that we do is we make sure that show shortcuts is toggled off. The reason is if we toggle this thing on, then it's going to show us things like our most visited sites, right? And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be able to access easily. I don't want my computer telling me to access things like YouTube or things like Amazon, right? If I need to use those things, I will actively search them up. But I don't want to open up Chrome and just click on the shiniest possible object, because I guarantee you, if you're just clicking on the shiniest possible object, you're going to end up distracting yourself and not getting what you're supposed to get done. So make sure we turn off show shortcuts. And this is going to make it so that we have to be proactive when we get on the internet. We can't just start clicking around at random things. We actually have to be there for a specific purpose. So this is how we should set up Google Chrome. Next thing we want to do is set our computer to grayscale mode. So grayscale mode means that your computer is going to be in black and white. Now you might be thinking, that sounds really disgusting. That sounds really ugly. Well, that is the point. And if you're someone right now who's thinking, I don't really want to do that, then you're not thinking about your computer as if it is a tool and not a toy. Fundamentally, if you believe that your computer is a tool and not a toy, then you wouldn't care whether it's in color or whether it is in black and white. As long as it served the purpose of giving you all the utility possible, then it wouldn't matter to you. And if you could have a setting on your computer that makes it significantly less likely for you to waste time on your phone or on your computer, like grayscale mode does, then you would be over the moon to try and get that installed on your device. So now that you really want to have a black and white computer, this is how you do it. So we want to go to System Settings. We want to go to Accessibility. We want to go to Display. We want to scroll down and we want to turn on color filters. And then on filter type, we want to make sure we have selected grayscale mode. And for intensity, bring this all the way to the max. Now, it might not look black and white on your screen right now, but on my screen, I'm certainly in black and white. If we want to make sure that we have this as more of a shortcut, so if we triple click the power button on our computer, it toggles on and off. Then the way we want to do that is we want to again go to accessibilities. We want to go to shortcut, which is here. We want to go to color filters and make sure we toggle that on. So that basically means you're going to quickly be able to switch to black and white. And if for whatever reason you have to take it off, then you can very easily triple click your power button and then turn off black and white grayscale mode. Next thing we want to do is we want to download Cold Turkey. This is a free app that you can get. I have no affiliation to it, but I've been using it and it's been working really well. So go to getcoldturkey.com and then download the app here. And once you have the app will look something like this. And this is what we're going to use to prevent access to certain websites at certain times. So there can be periods of the day where you really want to get work done and you know that when I'm using or when I have access to certain platforms such as YouTube, it can be really distracting and preventing me from wanting to get work done. So it can be a good idea to have blocks in place that actually work, that prevent you from accessing certain websites. So the way we want to do that is once you've downloaded Cold Turkey, go to blocks and we want to set up our own block. Now, as you can see here, I have a few blocks already set, but to set a new block, you just click this plus button here, enter the URL of whatever it is, badsite.com, right? Add whatever website that is, and you want to click save as. We can save this as the naughty list, and we have this here. So the way we want to set this up is going to depend on how we want to access it. So first of all, we want to click on this little lock button here. Now, there's two options. The rest are kind of useless in my opinion, but the first one we would like to do is timer range. So this applies in particular if you're trying to restrict access to certain sites at certain periods of time. I really like this for something like YouTube. I think it can be a really good idea. The way we want to do that is we want to set up the block period. So if I only want to access YouTube between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. at night, then the way I'll do that is set this from 10 p.m. and go to 5 p.m. So this basically means that this website will be blocked between 10 p.m. and 5 p.m. and therefore I'll have access to it between 5 and 10 p.m. So that's a really good way of doing it if you want to restrict the time range. If you're trying to remove something completely and you don't want it in your life at all, whether that's TikTok or whether that's porn or something like that, then the best way to do it is to use the random text function. The random text function basically means that for you to unblock this block, you have to type in a certain amount of random words that the computer gives you. So I like 1,000 characters. I think that's a good place to go, but you can do more or less than that. But this basically means you're going to have to type 1,000 random characters, which will take you between 3 and 7 minutes to unblock the block. If you want to do more than that, you can do more than that. You can do 2,000 words, whatever. Just make it a very, very laborious task. But this is a fantastic thing to do if you just want to restrict access completely to websites using the random text, or if you want to reduce access for certain times of the day. So if you really want to get a bunch of work done and you know 5 p.m. I'm good, I'm done for the day, then just set this block for something like 10 p.m. to 5 p.m. so that you know there's no little part of your head that goes, maybe I should just check Instagram, or maybe I should just do this, because you physically can't. The final thing I do to remove distractions from my computer completely is I use the greatest Chrome extension ever made by God himself, which is Undistracted. Again, no affiliation to this, I just believe it's the best product on earth. Again, this is free. This is a big reason why we want to use Chrome, because we can add this as an extension. This is also a big reason why I think that using social media is better done on your computer, purely because of this app, this extension, Undistracted. Because what it allows us to do is it allows us to modify the interfaces of social media to make them so much less distracting. So for example, if I go to Instagram here, because of the way I have Undistracted set up, it has blocked the feed, it has blocked stories, it's blocked reels, it's blocked explore, and it's hidden suggested for you. So I know when I go on social media, there's two things I want to do. I either want to post something or I want to respond to a few messages. I'm not getting distracted on this because this looks really, really ugly. Couple that with the fact that the screen is in black and white. No way I'm getting distracted on Instagram. This is absolutely incredible. That's just Instagram. If we then look at X or Twitter as it is set up on this, same thing. Hide timeline, hide for you timeline, hide trends, hide who you follow, hide all media. Beautiful. Look at this. Not distracting at all. I actually don't really use X, but if I did, I would know that I just have to use it to post and maybe respond to a few messages, and then I can get off it. Facebook, same thing. Because of Undistracted, I'm able to hide the feed, I'm able to hide likes and comments, the chat sidebar, marketplace stories, all hidden, very difficult to get distracted. I would show you YouTube, which I absolutely love, but I have blocked it through cold turkey, which is a very wise thing to do. But the YouTube one is amazing as well because you can hide recommendations, which I recommend doing. You can hide breaking news, hide the sidebar, hide comments, hide thumbnails, which is also a great thing to do. Hide up next suggestions and hide shorts. It's just crazy how much less distracted you'll be and how much more effective social media platforms can be when you remove the distracting part of their interface. Remember, your technology is a tool and not a toy. So use it that way. Remember, tool and not a toy. So that is exactly how I set up my technology to never get distracted again. It's how I've been able to go without online entertainment by myself for over 6 months. Hopefully there are some takeaways from this video. If you got some takeaways, if you got some value, then please like and subscribe the video. And there's probably a video somewhere around here that you might be interested in.